Welcome, everyone. In this topic, we'll focus on the OD practitioner, as in who this person is, where they sit in the organization, and what they actually do in real change work. We'll talk about the difference between internal and external practitioners, and why that difference matters for influence, trust, and how change gets done. Then we'll examine the OD practitioner's core role, as in helping build relationships, guiding groups through change, and strengthening organizational health and effectiveness. Finally, we'll walk through the competencies and skills OD practitioners need, including systems thinking, process skills, consulting credibility, and strong interpersonal abilities. Because OD is not only about knowing concepts, it's about being able to work with people under pressure and still move a system forward. Let's start with the simplest idea. An OD practitioner is a person who supports planned change in an organization. Their focus is not only solving a problem today, but helping the organization become more effective and healthier in a way that lasts. So, OD practitioners don't just give advice from a distance, they work with leaders, teams, and stakeholders, usually through inquiry, facilitation, diagnosis, and intervention. So the organization learns and improves as it changes. OD practitioners can be internal, meaning they are employees of the organization, or external, meaning they are invited in from outside. This different this difference is not minor. It affects how the practitioner is viewed, how much freedom they have, how they gain influence, and even what risks they face when they tell the truth about what they see. Many internal OD practitioners are located inside the HR department. That can be helpful because HR touches many systems such as staffing, learning, performance, and culture. But it can also limit OD, especially if OD becomes seen as an HR support function instead of a strategic capability. That's why internal OD can be structured in different ways, because where OD sits shapes its influence and ability to work across the whole system. Let's go through the common structural options for internal OD. In the traditional model, OD is located within HR. That can give access to talent and culture systems, but it may reduce OD's strategic reach. In an independent model, OD becomes a freestanding unit. This can give OD stronger identity and broader scope, but it needs clear authority and strong leadership support. In a decentralized model, OD is placed in business or regional units. The advantage is closeness to operations and local needs, but the challenge is consistency and coordination across units. In an integrated model, OD capability is blended with HR so that OD thinking becomes more widely distributed. The benefit is reach. The challenge is ensuring quality and depth of OD practice. And in the strategy model, OD is tied directly to strategic planning. This is important because OD can serve the organization most effectively when it is aligned with strategy. Or OD is not only fixing problems, but helping the organization adapt and renew in a strategic way. External practitioners come from outside the organization, so they often bring a different viewpoint and more objectivity. Because they are invited in, they may have stronger leverage and freedom to operate, especially compared with internal practitioners who must navigate promotion systems and internal politics. In many organizations, top managers may view external practitioners as especially useful in large scale change because they seem more neutral and less constrained by internal relationships. But there is a trade off. External practitioners must earn trust quickly and learn the culture fast, or they can misread the organization. The central purpose is consistency, improve the organizational effectiveness and health. The OD practitioner's primary role is often described as establishing helping relationships with individuals, groups, and across groups so that change can happen in a supported, workable way. Now, what the practitioner does day to day depends on the task, but the purpose remains the same: help the system move to better functioning. In real OD work, the practitioner might play many roles. Sometimes they are a sounding board for senior leaders. Sometimes they guide a change team. Sometimes they help design or redesign an organization or process. They might partner with decision makers on a transformation effort, facilitate a work team, act as a process consultant to a critical group, or provide methodological leadership, meaning they bring structure and discipline to how change is conducted. In some cases, the practitioner helps the organization by conducting regular health checks, not waiting for a crisis, but monitoring organizational health as part of a strategic cycle. OD consulting is often distinguished by three ideas. First, relationship building is central, not optional. OD work depends on trust because it deals with real issues such as power, conflict, uncertainty, and change fatigue. Second, OD practitioners have expertise in human dynamics, as in how individuals and groups behave and how intervention processes work in real settings. Third, OD emphasizes practitioner development. In OD, your effectiveness depends on not only the tools, but also on your ability to work with people ethically, respectfully, and competently over time. OD competency frameworks highlight that practitioners must think beyond isolated symptoms. They need to work with the whole system, how strategy, culture, structure, and processes interact. That includes leading change and alignment, fostering culture and engagement through trust, and supporting innovation, because many organizations need not only improvement, but renewal and reinvention. OD practitioners also need strong design and facilitation capabilities. Good OD design aims for simplicity and usefulness, designing strategies and interventions that people can actually adopt. OD practitioners also act as process consultants, facilitating dialogue and decision making in a non threatening environment so issues can be discussed honestly. And because organizations are full of multiple viewpoints, practitioners must synthesize data, connecting stakeholder perspectives into a clear story that supports commitment and coordinated action. OD practitioners must also be business relevant. That means connecting OD work to organizational goals and results, and being able to talk about impact, not only activities. Credibility matters. Trust comes from integrity and authenticity, but also from clear communication, tailoring messages to different levels and groups without losing the core meaning. OD works also OD also requires rather competence in diverse settings, creating inclusion so people with different identities and experiences can contribute meaningfully to the change process. Finally, strong OD practice requires professional maturity. That includes contracting clearly, being specific about goals, outcomes, and resources so the work does not become vague or unrealistic. It also includes emotional intelligence, reading stakeholder dynamics, seeking different perspectives, and managing your own values, boundaries, and biases, as well as ethics so they don't unintentionally distort the work. And because organizations evolve, OD practitioners must stay current and continue learning. OD is a discipline, not a one time training. When we translate competencies into skills, we're talking about the ability to diagnose thoughtfully, facilitate groups effectively, communicate clearly, and influence without relying on coercion. OD work often happens under ambiguity. People don't agree on the problem, emotions are high, timelines are real, so the practitioner's judgment becomes part of the intervention. OD is practiced through relationships, so interpersonal skill is not optional. Practitioners must build trust, they must listen deeply, and they must ask good questions and help groups stay productive even when tension arises. Conflict will happen in change work. OD practitioners need to help groups handle conflict constructively. So, conflict produces clarity and better decisions, not damage.